I'm Luke,
And I'm Tyler,
and this is Mixed to Tape.
the podcast where we talk about audio, from recording to mastering and everything else in between.
We're here to start discussions and help answer your questions.
Let's get started.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Luke. Why are you laughing so hard?
Right in the lead up to this, Tyler runs away so he can go turn off his air conditioner.
Yeah. It kicked on right as we started.
Can't have that background noise. Too amateur.
But you could get rid of it, right? You could fix it, right, Luke?
Yeah, right? Right? That's my job. Fix it in post. How are you doing? How is your week going?
Good. We're watching some Olympics here and there.
Oh, yeah.
This is a lot of fun. We've been watching a lot of gymnastics. Ivy, our oldest, our 3-year-old, she's been watching it too. And she came up with a name all by herself for the gymnasts. She calls them Sparkle Mommies.
That's a great name.
Yeah. She's like, can we watch Sparkle Mommies? Hell yes, we can. So yeah, just a lot of that, and then just regular day-to-day parenting and work stuff.
What a fun end of July.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy August.
Yeah. Happy rent day.
Oh, yes. Rent day. I pay mine on the 15th.
Oh, okay.
My
Yeah,
rent to the bank.
you pay in the middle of the month.
Yeah.
That feels like I don't know, is that better or worse?
I don't know. It's the same.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
really
just
matter.
money leaving our bank accounts.
Yeah.
We took Piper to the movies.
Oh, yes.
And we took her to see Lyle. Big
Lyle
success.
Crocodile.
Lyle Crocodile. It was like $1 a ticket. They had for $5, they give you a little like snack tray thing for the kids. Piper tried lemonade, but I think it was carbonated, and she was not a fan of that.
Okay.
She loved it. There was 2 or 3 families in there, so she could just run around if she needed to and like blow off some steam. And
That's awesome.
we put on some headphones. She loved it. She dug it.
Yeah, was it too loud for her? Like, did she try it without headphones first and then...
Yeah, it's too loud for me. I put in earplugs.
Yeah.
It was to their credit. I think it was correctly calibrated, but like listening, especially to a musical at like 83, 84 dB, it feels a little too in your face. So
Did you whip out your meter and see how loud it was?
I whipped out my watch.
Nice. What did it say? Was it 83, 85?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was curious. I was like, wow, this still feels really loud. I
Yeah.
can't believe people mix it that regularly.
Right.
I think I stick to more like 80 when I'm mixing.
So that's fun. That was her first movie experience.
First movie. And I got to work on that one, so I felt kind of special that it was a movie I worked on and that she got to
That's
see it
awesome.
in theaters. So, yeah. I'm starting to prep for school and get assignments done, and then we're off to the races end of August.
End of August. Okay. So you have like 3 weeks prep.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the distinct advantage that all of my planning is basically already done. I just have to like go through all the assignments, fine tune them a little bit, upgrade from, what didn't work last year,
Yep.
change some file names, and then I just got to like upload everything.
Nice.
But it still takes like a week or two just to
Yeah.
like sift through it all.
And that's for the semester or for the year? You're going over all that stuff.
That's just for the semester. By the end of this semester, I'll have a pretty good idea of what the kids are like, and then I can like fine tune the next semester.
Yeah.
You don't want to plan too far in advance when it comes
Right.
to
You have to
teaching.
do it twice.
Yeah. This semester we're doing all recording. It's
Cool.
going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Is this the semester where you put them in the hot seat?
This is the terrible midterm semester.
Yes.
I also do like a ton of recording. We'll do like drums, piano. I'm going to try this year to bring in a classical quartet.
Oh, cool.
So,
Would you source that through the school?
yes. Yeah. Typically, I'll just grab a student and be like, hey, you want to play around for me for a little bit? And yeah. But let's get to our topic for today,
Let's do it.
I think.
What are we talking about today, Luke?
I thought we could spend a little bit of time talking about our favorite things to listen with, speakers and headphones.
Oh, I was gonna say my ears, but
No,
oh,
speakers are better. There was some debate going into this. Is it speakers and headphones or speakers or headphones?
yeah. And for me,
And yeah, yeah, I like to use speakers and headphones. I like to use both. What are you listening on right now, Tyler? Let's talk
I
about
just got
those.
these. I got these Bear Dynamic. Let me. I have to actually look and see. DT 1990 Pros.
1990.
Yes,
Okay.
1990 Pros. I got them about probably like 3 months ago, and I upgraded from my Sennheiser HD 650s,
Okay.
which I had for a long, long time, and I loved them. But I always felt like there wasn't enough high end for me.
Yeah.
Like they didn't translate well for me. Like things always kind of were pokey in them, and I always mixed certain things too loud in them. It's pretty drastic when you compare both of them. The high end on the Bear Dynamics is like super bright, but you get used to it, and you just hear a lot of detail in them, and I like
Okay.
that.
They're open back.
They're open back, yes,
Okay.
and yeah, they're great. Yeah, like when I first put them on, I'm like, oh my god, these are gonna be too bright, and but they're not too bright. They don't make my ears bleed.
That's good.
I can wear them for a good part of the day, and yeah, it's just great. You can hear a lot of vocal detail. You can kind of like pops and clicks and all that stuff that you might miss in the other headphones really jump out to you.
How's the low end on them?
Really good, really really good. It's not hyped or anything, which I don't like hyped bottom end. It's nice and present and full and very balanced. I love them.
That's great.
Yeah. What are you listening on?
I am listening on my headphones that I got in 2014.
Nice. Which are?
10-year-old headphones. ATH M50Xs.
Okay.
So
Is
the
that
Audio
Audio
Technica,
Technica?
yeah, the Audio Technica, ATH Audio Technica headphone, M50Xs is their upgrade to the M50s, which was their like huge claim to fame.
Yeah.
Because I worked at Guitar Center, I got to test every headphone that they had in stock. And so one day it was a little bit of a down day, and I just went through the entire inventory of headphones that they had and tested them all. And the M50s just they spoke to me
Yeah.
in this very special way. So I bought those at Guitar Center, and I've been listening to the same pair since.
Oh, nice.
They're a little bit hyped in the sense that like there's a little bit of extra low end, a little bit extra high end. It's not a ton, so it won't ruin your ears.
Right.
It sort of brings out the frequencies that I like to focus on, and it brings out the frequencies that are also like fun. So like it makes music sound like fun and
Yeah.
interesting without like, getting aggressive or masking anything.
Are they open or closed back?
They're closed back. They have the detachable cable on them, which makes them very nice. So you can hook out, you could switch out like the coiled cable for
Mm-hmm.
like a really short one or a super duper long one. They fold up relatively nicely. They can do the whole DJ thing where they can like turn each cup turns like 180 degrees total.
Or your favorite vocalist who does the same thing on a recording session?
Oh my God. And leaves the other cup like wide open to
Yeah.
the world. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No. No, I really, really like these headphones.
Oh, nice. And what do you do? What kind of work are you doing on those mostly?
So I think that this actually kind of goes into the next kind of topic, I think. When's a good time to use headphones and when's a bad time to use headphones? I really like headphones. If I have a choice, let me put it this way. If I'm not worried about how much noise is going out into the world, if I have a choice, I'm wearing headphones for editing work
Yeah.
almost all the time. Speakers will be for mixing,
Yeah.
like big deal mixing. What about you?
I use them for editing and mixing. Yeah, I feel like for editing, I can really, catch breaths better. If there's any like noises I need to get rid of, I can hear them better on the headphones. It's just like more detailed than just kind of like they're right on your ear, so you can really hear everything, nice and present. And then I'll mix with them too. I'll switch between headphones and speakers just because if I wear my headphones all day, I just get ear fatigue,
Yeah.
which is not fun. It's like at the end of the day, if I listen to headphones all day, like I don't even know what I'm listening to anymore. And I don't listen loud or anything. But yeah, I do both. Yeah. I'd say I'm probably on headphones for at least half the day, usually.
Okay.
My monitoring situation at home isn't the best, but I can work with it, and I kind of know my room and everything. So
What speakers do you have?
I have Dyne Audio BM15As.
BM15A. I'm gonna look this up.
Yes, we had them at Avatar.
Oh yeah. Are those the ones that you're supposed to not tilt in towards you? You're supposed to like
No,
have
those are
them.
the HD ones.
Okay. Those were weird. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
Speakers should be pointed at you, not pointed past you.
I know. So I use those as like my large mains, and then I have a pair of NS10s that I just switch back to just to kind of check
Okay.
things on them.
You have an amp for those?
I do.
Okay.
I have a Yamaha. Hold on, I'm going under.
He's going down.
A P3500S.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I have those. I got them. I got I don't know, probably 8 years ago.
Okay.
Got them for like $400, just because I use them at Avatar all the time, so I knew them
Okay.
really well. And so yeah, I just have them. They're just fun. Not
Have
to
you,
enjoy
like-
really music on all the time, but
Yeah. Have you like redone the tweeters on them and stuff?
I have not. But I would like to at some point.
I remember one of the engineers at Avatar, I can't remember the word, reconed the tweeters or just replaced the tweeters. When I listened to them, he played them during a recording session at one point, and I was actually really surprised how relatively flat they were. But you like your NS10s?
Yeah, yeah. Just as like a reference,
Okay.
kind of listen to all the nasty bits. I do like them. I think it helps, finding balance issues and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I won't listen to them all day.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the Dyne Audios all day.
When did you get those Dyne Audios? Did you say?
I've had the Dyne Audios for probably 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
For
Okay.
a while, yeah.
Engineers. We find speakers. We never leave.
Yeah, yeah. And I use these at Avatar, so I use both of these at Avatar, so I knew them both very well. I mean, if I had, I don't know, was it like 10 grand? Maybe I'd buy a pair of Proax, but,
Okay.
I think those are a little bit big for my space anyway.
So yeah, I get the barefoots
Yeah, okay.
if I had the 10 grand.
Yeah. But like I've only used Barefoots a handful of times, and I've used the Proax. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Proax. What am I thinking? ATCs.
Oh, okay.
Right. ATC. I've used those I use those a lot. So at other studios. So I just know them well.
When we were at Avatar, we had those the Lipinski 707s.
Mm-hmm.
I remember setting those up for some sort of listening session at one point. We plugged in some music just to make sure the signal chain was all set. And I kind of like, I sat down and listened to the music and I melted. It was the most incredible sound I'd ever heard in my life. It was
Was that in
just so
stereo or
clear.
5.1?
It was just a stereo setup.
Yeah.
It was an album party thing. Oh my God. I had no idea that amount of detail was
Yeah.
capable of being reproduced. In studio.
Right.
It was just incredible. But those things are like a bajillion dollars, right?
Yeah. Right. And they're all passive, so everything needs to be amplified. And
You need super duper amps for them,
Yeah.
and yeah.
so I get so our next, I guess, bullet point here is what makes a good or bad speaker or headphone, and I think that's just a personal question. What one person may like, another person may not like. So I don't know. That's why you should go out and listen to as many speakers and headphones as you can, and find something that you like, something that works for you. If you find a headphone that you like listening to music on, but when you mix on them, they don't translate, then maybe you should look for something different.
When I think about what makes a good or bad speaker, what immediately comes to mind is, does the speaker or headphone accurately reproduce the audio? Like relatively.
Yeah.
And like, so I think about like the Beats headphones. It's sort of the most notorious, but they're not the only culprit. Is, really scooped lows, really scooped highs, like really, really, really scooped. And what I have discovered is, we have students who listen on Beats. It's what they have, it's what they like,
Yep.
whatever. And then when it comes time to actually mix a song, they're sitting in front of relatively balanced speakers or relatively balanced headphones, and they'll do a mix that sounds like it's coming out of a Beats headphone.
Right.
So I would say find a set of speakers or a set of headphones that will be truthful for you,
Yeah.
or at least a set that there's no such thing as a perfectly flat speaker or headphone. So find one that you can get used to and you can listen through. That's what I would say is a good versus a bad speaker or headphone.
Yeah, and when you play back on another system, it should sound relatively close to what you heard on this speakers or headphones that you mixed on.
Yeah. When you mix, do you go back and forth between headphones and speakers?
Yes, but it's like when I mix underscoring for Sesame Street. If I'm doing like a street story, which is like a 10 or 15 minute long segment, sometimes there's like 2 or 3 minutes of music divided up into like anywhere between like 10 and 30 cues.
Yeah.
So I'll do 2 passes on headphones, and then when I go to print everything, maybe I'll listen back on the speakers at the end, kind of a thing. I can't go back and forth too much. It kind of just messes with me a little bit too much, you know? It's like, yeah, I'll do 2 passes. Maybe I'll have like bathroom break or have a snack or something. Then I'll come back, listen on this my monitors, and then that's when I'll print everything at that point.
Have a snack. Have your apple juice and graham crackers.
Yeah, chocolate milk.
Uh, I really like. I really like. So when I'm mixing, I always hit a point where I don't know what to do anymore. I'm like, it sounds good. I must be done. So let me check this on headphones real quick,
Yeah,
and then and I'll stay on headphones for the next like hour while I'm like
yeah,
fixing everything that sounds wrong.
yeah,
And then I'll hop back. It's like, and then I'll hit a point where it's like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I can't hear anything anymore. I'll take the headphones off. I'll go back to speakers. And suddenly it's like all these new problems will show up. But it's not as many new problems as there was when I first put on the headphones. And so, like,
right.
I keep going back and forth between speakers and headphones until eventually it's like, I don't know what to do anymore. And then it's like, okay, I think I'm
I'm
done.
done. Yeah,
But this is why I wanted to call this speakers and headphones because for mixing at least, I will definitely use both.
yeah,
And I find that my mixes translate extremely well if I can go between speakers and headphones.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
It's
talk
funny.
about
Like,
my speakers.
sorry, go ahead.
I didn't talk
Like,
about my speakers.
oh yeah, speakers. 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 What Lukes do you use? Luke, what speakers do you use?
Well, my Lukes are. So I got a set of speakers when I was in college, and I've been listening on them ever since. They're the Yamaha HS50Ms, which have been discontinued. You can't buy them anywhere now, so don't even try. Uh, they're the predecessor to the HS5s. I think if given a choice, I would definitely stick with the HS50Ms, which obviously I did because I still have them. I never upgraded. I like my 50s because they have a really customizable EQ on the back of them that Yamaha kind of nerfed with the HS5s, which I didn't love.
Yeah,
But these ones, there's tons of like little toggle switches. You can really like dig into the EQs on them. The sound is pretty darn flat. And then I got a sub that goes with them. It's the HS10W, and it's one of those like you can plug out of your system, plug into the sub. Sub will
yep,
take what it wants, then plug into the mains. I've always been a big proponent of having a sub because it's like low frequencies, they sit weird in a room. If you have a sub, you can take those low frequencies, now you can put them in a new place.
yeah,
You can move it away from the wall, whereas speakers tend to end up close to walls, and
yep,
because we're all mixing in our bedrooms and
right.
living rooms and shit. So being able to turn down just the sub, being able to set the crossover really gives you a lot of power. And then I'm not married to like trying to buy like the speaker with the biggest woofers on them. I can buy
Right.
a speaker that does everything from 150 up, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't have the NS10s. I feel like I'm maybe a bad engineer that I don't have them, but
No, no, definitely not. I mean, I don't enjoy them. I just know them.
I feel like I at some point would like to get another set of speakers, but I don't know what I get at this point. So
Yeah. Yeah, if you're happy with what you have and it works, why fix what's not broken, Luke?
yeah, it's and again, it's this my system of speakers to headphones to speakers to headphones to speakers to headphones until I'm losing my mind it works for me.
Yeah.
Your system of staying on headphones and than going and getting your snack.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like it depends on the day. Like some days I'll wake up and I'm like, I'm not putting those headphones on. I'll just mix on my speakers all day. You know. So day by day.
I went through a period during COVID where I was mixing only with headphones, ever only. I never checked with speakers because my speakers were at school and I wasn't allowed to go into school because of COVID.
Mm.
So I really thought I was doing okay. I thought I was in good shape. And then I finally got my speakers back from school. I set them up and I listened to some stuff that I mixed. I was like, oh my God, I delivered this?
People approve this stuff. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like the worst thing you do. Sometimes I go back, something I delivered like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. I'm just like, okay. Not that it was like horrible or anything, but I'm just like, what was I thinking? Who was that person?
5 years younger, 5 years inexperienced.
But what is it? Is it about 5 years? Like your body regenerates all its new cells? It's like you're essentially a new person,
I
right?
just listened to a Radio Lab about this, and it's apparently it very much depends.
Oh, really? So it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, is what you're saying?
Like the cells in your brain that control like your basic motor functions, you
Mm-hmm.
have those for your entire life.
Okay.
Neurons, I'm not sure about the rest of the neurons. Skin will regenerate every 2 weeks, and it like
Okay.
varies. Everything varies from there. So, how old are you? It was a fascinating question that they tried to answer in Radio Lab. Shout out
Interesting.
to another podcast.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome. Is that one that just came out?
That was
Or is it an old
probably
one?
from like 2 or 3 years ago. I'd like
Okay.
stopped listening to podcasts for a while, and it's like, oh shit. So now I'm going through all my backlog,
Oh, no.
and I
Send that one
kept
to me. I
every
want to
Radio
listen to
Lab.
it. Oh, nice.
So I think we covered this. Good time to reach for either. Um, I think I'd like to just reiterate that I really do. I like headphones for editing, and I have no qualms about that whatsoever. Like
Yeah,
the
me either.
ability to like really hear like where exactly the breath happens and where it doesn't happen. It just I've tried it on speakers. You can turn up the speakers as much as you want. You'll never get as much detail with, as you can with headphones. Why is why do you like to mix with headphones? I'm just curious.
Um, I don't know. It's just kind of what I've been used to for the last couple of years.
Okay.
It just works for me, you know. But like I said, I go back and forth. But yeah, I think I can just kind of. I finally found these headphones that really work a lot better than my previous headphones.
Uh-huh.
And they're just translating so much better. And I just feel much more confident on them. Before I was like mixing on like the Sennheisers, and things were sounding good, and then I'd play them on my speakers, and like I said, things were poking out, and I have to kind of not remix, but kind of just bring things back a little bit, and maybe EQ things a little differently. With these, it's just like it translates so much better,
Hmm.
you know.
Okay.
And just being in not a professional monitoring space, I can trust these a lot better than I can my monitors, you know.
Hmm. Maybe that's my problem is. Maybe if I got headphones that weren't $150, maybe maybe if I upgraded my headphones for once in the 10 years that I've had them.
Yeah, try it. Um, Sweetwater will demo headphones for you. You do have to lay the money out, but if you don't like them, you can send them back and whatever. You probably know that. Anyway,
Our listeners don't. Let's pretend our listeners don't.
oh
Now
yeah,
you know.
listeners. Yeah, well, yeah. So I demoed a bunch of speakers headphones when I got the Bear Dynamics. I'd lay out a significant amount of cash, but they did
Yeah.
reimburse me.
I tested some Audis headphones when I was at AES, and those were amazing. I'd love to get those someday, but the ones I was looking at were like $1,200.
Yeah, yeah. These are I think either $4.99 or $5.99. So
Okay. Middle of the road
middle of the
expensive.
road.
That's like
Yeah.
affordable expensive.
Yes. Yes.
Sony just put out a pair that we were listening to, the M1. Sony debuted this like a ear profile system.
Hmm.
So they have been developing a system to basically profile individual listeners' ears. And then the idea is that if you buy their new headphones and you get profiled with them, that you can essentially experience Atmos music wearing headphones in the comfort of wherever
Oh wow.
your own home. So they this is going on a tangent, but this is a fun story. They came into Ithaca College in January and they gave us all profiles of our ears. And so the experience was you walked into a room, everything was you sit on the X and everything was all spaced out and specced out. They took two little microphones on little like spirally things and they stuck the microphones directly into my ears. And then they did the pink noise out of all 12 speakers. The whole Atmos system, out of all the speakers. And then they put the headphones over my head with the microphone still inside. They're open back headphones. And then they did the whole thing again, And then they play some pink noise. They say, where's the pink noise coming out of? I was like, center channel. I pointed to the speaker. He goes, okay. And then he starts playing some music for me.
This is with the headphones on.
Yeah, so I'm wearing the headphones, and they're playing music for me, and like, it sounds like it's coming out of the Atmos system. And I'm like, why are they playing music out of the Atmos system when I'm wearing the headphones? This is such a bizarre experience. And one of the guys, looks at me, he's gesturing like, okay, take the headphones off. And I took the headphones off, and the room was silent.
Oh, wow.
And I said something extremely, I cursed, I'm sure. It was incredible technology. I took the headphones home, I plugged them into my own home system, and I was listening to Dolby Atmos in music, in my Apple Music, and experiencing like full Dolby Atmos. I could solo individual channels through the system that they had, and I could pinpoint that's my center channel. I could look and I could see exactly where it was coming from. It was coming from like 3 feet in front of me, and 3 feet in front of me is outside my apartment.
Right.
I could do one of the height speakers and I could point to exactly which one it was. It was really, really impressive. So anyways, Sony M1s. Those are like 300 or 400. And I listen to them. I think they're actually pretty nice.
Now, is that all I do, or can you do like standard stereo monitoring on them?
They're totally normal headphones. That was just Sony's trying to. I think part of it is like trying to sell these new headphones.
Yeah,
they're their new thing. But the idea was that their system that they had invented rendered the headphones essentially invisible acoustically. That's why they took the measurement with the headphones on and the headphones off. They were trying to make that. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Also interesting, listening to other people's profiles.
Oh.
Right? So not putting on mine, taking my coworkers, my colleagues, putting on one of their profiles. It was as if someone took the entire Atmos image, and like if the Atmos image was like a sheet of paper, right? It was as if somebody just took a piece of paper and just crumpled it.
Oh, wow.
Because it was chaos. It wasn't It wasn't just like it shrunk. It was like it bent and twisted in this very peculiar way.
Oh, wow.
And my first thought was like, this is kind of what the Apple spatial audio feels like when I turn on spatial audio on those AirPods.
Yeah.
And I go, spatial audio is not here yet. And this is why. It's because our ears are too sensitive. They know exactly what a thing should sound like if it's coming from the left or above us or whatever. And trying to like create a general profile to fit most people, I don't think it's going to work. I think we need to dig into that LiDAR thing a little bit more.
Yeah. So you think Sony's onto something?
I think that was when I first heard it in my house, my mind started reeling. I was thinking like, oh my God, I can do an Atmos mix and I can do it with headphones. I can do stereo mixing with headphones. And it will sound like speakers.
Yeah.
I'll still get the spatial. I get the left, right. I'll be able to hear my phasing issues and things like that. And at any point, you can turn it off and just they're normal headphones again. So now I have my headphone listening too. It was incredible, and even better, you'd have to travel to the location. But in theory, you could profile. Well, Blackbird Studio C. That's where they're doing a lot of their profiles. So now you have people who get to go home and listen to Atmos from Blackbird Studio C in the comfort of their own home.
That's cool.
They're shelling out
Yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars for this experience and this profile. But there's a lot of really cool potential, and I really hope it gets developed and becomes affordable. I think for the layman, I
Yeah.
would love that.
Is it all software, or is there a hardware unit that is incorporated into the system as well?
It's all software. It was a simple computer program that just takes, you need to feed it an Atmos input. So we were using, oh no, it creates its own input. So it creates an IO that you can just output from the computer to
Hmm.
this, output, and then you open up the program and it just decodes it to stereo
I see.
for
I
you.
see. If you were mixing, you use it in tandem with Pro Tools or Logic or whatever.
I used it with Pro Tools, and
Yeah.
you just so in Pro Tools you would just select the it's called the 360 profile thing. You would select that as your output device,
Oh, cool.
and it was that easy. And
Oh,
I
wow.
was mixing stuff in Atmos on my own.
Whoa.
It was so neat. But they ended up only giving us a month-long demo. So the drug wore off. But I was listening to so
You've been
much
chasing the
Atmos.
dragon ever since.
Yeah. I will say that experience, being able to listen to Atmos at that level and that amount, like really changed my opinion on
Yeah.
immersive audio. And
Cool.
yeah, I'm excited for its possibilities if we can get the sound sounding good. So anyways, that's the new Sony headphone.
This
I mean-
podcast has been brought to you by. Do
Oh,
you?
Sony MV1. That's what it's called. MDR MV1. That's what it's called. What was your question?
Headphones that you use for editing and stuff? Do you use a headphone amp or anything with them?
I don't. I am very basic. What about you?
I use Little Labs Monitor, which is fabulous. I love it. It has a lot of fun little features. I can flip left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I can sum left and right, so I can listen in mono, and then I can listen to only the left channel on both sides, or the right channel on both sides, and then I can hear like the difference of left and right.
Huh.
So pretty much like if you're listening to a record and you put it, so it's left, if it's left minus right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much everything that's stereo. You'll hear that.
So only sides.
Yeah.
No
So
mid.
like if like a traditional rock record or something, you wouldn't hear kick drum, snare, and vocal right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a handy little tool, and I like it. Has a good sound to it.
So you go out of your Apollo into that.
Yeah, my Apollo
Essentially.
Twin, and in console there's a way you can output the Twin, and you can have like you can have your Q outputs be molded to line output 3 and 4. So that's what I use.
Okay. I'm just coming out the headphone of my Apollo. So basic. I think we should probably wrap this up. Do you have any speaker recommendations, headphone recommendations?
I
If you're-
don't. I mean, I told
If you were
what I
buying
like.
headphones for the first time,
I'd go out and to listen to as many as I could.
okay.
I listened to see what other people thought of other speakers, pros and cons, budget, all that stuff.
That's good advice.
What about you? What would you recommend? How would you make a recommendation?
So if you can get your hands on a whole bunch of speakers and you can listen to a bunch of them, I think that's good. I think you should look for things that are relatively flat. Don't be super excited when you hear like a shitload of bass out of a thing.
Yeah,
'Cause it may be fake, right? It may be like really flabby, and if you're new at this, you may not be able to notice the flabbiness.
right. Yeah, because when you're doing work on headphones, you're not necessarily sitting back and relaxing and enjoying the music, which you might do on a pair of Beats headphones or something like that, right? You're trying to do work, you're trying to make things translate, you're trying to hear problems.
Balanced EQ is really important, I
Yeah.
think. That being said, I remember I had a class with a guy who worked at Polk Audio, and he said that making a really like a perfectly like a razor flat balanced headphone is actually extremely easy to do.
Hmm.
The problem is it never sells because it's so boring.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. I've listened to extremely flat headphones and I kind of like, yeah, These aren't doing it for me.
Yeah.
I want a little bit of spice in there. Find the spice that works for you, I think. Not everybody loves the M50s. I adore these headphones, and I will probably get these headphones until the day I die. I will probably have a pair of these always. But I've talked to a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, I don't like them. There's too much bass. I go,
Yeah. Yeah.
when people are asking about new speakers and they don't know where to go, I always point them to the JBL, the 305s.
Yes, those are great.
They're solid. They got some of that hype. They got some of that low and high end hype, but they're still pretty good.
They're inexpensive.
And they're a pretty good price. Yeah. I also, I always point people towards the HS5s, the new line of Yamahas, because I love my HS50 so much. It's like, can't go wrong.
Yeah, the JBLs, I know some like professional mixers that have like a home 5.1 system and they use the JBLs.
That's a great
the
use for them.
305s.
Yeah. That's a great use for them. Yeah, you do get a surprising amount of low end out of those things. And
Yeah.
it doesn't sound bad to me at least. So, but if you have any recommendations, dear listener, hit us up on Facebook. Let us know what you like to listen on, or what you're looking at, or headphones too.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. I think that wraps us up. Number 9.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe. We put out new episodes every other Thursday. If you liked what you heard, take a second to give us a review. Every review helps new listeners find us. If you'd like to support us, you can find us on Patreon. We have some perks for our new subscribers and plans for more as we continue and grow. If you'd like to join the conversation, find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching Mixed to Tape Podcast. If you'd like to contact us, write us at mixedtotapepodcast@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear your questions. Thanks, and we hope to see you next time.